So this is why you should do hard things all of the time. A simple question to frame this podcast in the correct way for you is, when was the last time you did something outside of your routine on purpose, which was difficult or challenging or uncomfortable? It doesn't have to be anything crazy like running a marathon or something, but it has to be something that drags you outside of that zone of comfort. Fact of the matter is, the most important parts of life and the most important growth areas in life come from those times of hardship, discomfort, and being outside of your comfort zone. And this video will prove why it matters. But first, let's think about the illusion of comfort. And I want to tell you a little story to illustrate. Now, it's not real, but let's go anyway. So, imagine you were on a trip to Cornwall with your friends, and it was a cold month like February. You all wake up, you have this lovely Airbnb on the cliffside, and the weather is pretty awful. It's raining, the sea looks pretty choppy, and one of your friends goes, "Oh, do you know what? This an amazing way to start the day would, let's all just go down to the beach, hop in the sea, jump in that cold water, and, just experience it all together." Everyone gets super excited, everyone starts chatting, everyone starts getting all giddy and stuff, but you subconsciously think, fucking hell, I don't want to be doing that at all. Because at the end of the day, it's going to put you at risk. It's going to put you at risk of leaving that zone of comfort. Anyway, you all chuck on your swim gear, you head down to the beach, and a couple of your mates, which aren't blinded by the illusion of comfort, just run straight into the sea, dive straight in, and get that, barrier of comfort broken down straight away. And guess what? They're not uncomfortable anymore. They're comfortable in that zone of discomfort, and they've broken down that barrier straight away. Every second you spent outside of that water is confirming to your brain that the illusion is real, like the sea is bad, but really, once you go in, it's absolutely fine. After a while, you pluck up the courage to go in and you realise it was just an illusion. Fear is a mile wide and an inch thick, and the sea is a perfect descriptor of that. The next year, you go to the same spot with your family, and you're the one suggesting to go into the sea when the weather's awful because, it'll feel good when you get out. And everyone in your family are like, what the fuck? You're crazy. But you're the one that's already broken down that barrier of illusion, and you know that area of discomfort won't actually hurt you. The sea is an important metaphor for this because of something I just mentioned. Fear is a mile wide and an inch thick, and you only realise it's an inch thick when you step into the abyss and realise that you can touch the floor. It looks awful, but it's not that bad. And the best thing about diving straight into that water is that it'll only do you good. Physical and mental adaptations, fulfillment, and a sense of achievement will shortly follow. So, to be honest, you're actually better off just diving straight in, head first, and seeing what happens. And that's the same thing with everything in life. So I guess that brings me on to the main point of this, is doing hard things repeatedly, over and over again, builds character within you. I'm all for affirmations in life. I think they're important. I think it's important to tell yourself who you want to be. But the only true way to build confidence and, self-awareness in yourself is to consistently hit the hammer on the chisel and keep telling yourself that you are who you say you are. That's how you build true confidence. It's repeatedly showing up for yourself, even when you think you may not be able to, and proving it to yourself. Actually, I am about that life. So I'm 5 weeks out from the photo shoot with James, and every day I'm dragging myself into the water, basically. It's uncomfortable, it's hard, I'm not able to eat too much, I have to train as hard, if not harder. My sleep has to be perfect, I can't drink alcohol, I've got to cancel on social occasions, etc, etc. The idea of every single day starting at the moment is pretty daunting because it's hard, but that's good because that's the area of discomfort that I'm entering in, and soon it will become comfortable and I will adapt to that situation. It should feel like I'm stepping into the unknown. It should feel like the deep, dark depths of discipline that I haven't even experienced yet. But guess how I'll feel after the shoot? I'll feel like that isn't even that dark or deep, and it'll feel like I can do that day in, day out. And imagine how I'll feel after. I'll have that undeniable sense of, confidence and self-worth that I've managed to climb that mountain, get over the summit and walk back down again, and I'm victorious. When you're born, you're literally, every single waking moment of your life, you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. You've just been born, you're 10 pounds heavy, you've experienced nothing, and every single moment after that until you die is designed for you to step out of your comfort zone and really find out who you are and how far you can push yourself. And life is just a pursuit of that. And to be honest, I think that's good because it allows you to experience more life. It allows you to travel more. It allows you to seize more opportunities. Discomfort forces you to adapt in life. It forces you into new situations which can uncover new opportunities. So it's just so important. And you may be sat there thinking, I can't always be choosing discomfort. I'm actually pretty soft. If I'm being honest with myself, I'm actually pretty soft. Like, I can't be doing that all the time. And luckily for you, stepping outside of your comfort zone isn't a human trait. It's a skill that you can develop. So you just start small, wake up 15 minutes earlier, go on a morning walk in the morning when it's a little bit cold, take the sugar out your coffee. It's like there's so many things that you can do which are super low barrier to entry, but then will allow you to build up to those much harder pursuits in life, like a marathon or starting a business. And to be honest, you'll be surprised with how a little bit of fascination will take you through to the unknown and build you as a human being.